Hello. I am back to do some makeup. So I already moisturized my skin with CeraVe. I'm letting my hair air dry for a little bit before I diffuse it. I'm gonna get my lotion to dry down a little bit more. So today, the look that I'm gonna go for, I want to do glowy skin, glowy complexion, glowy complexion, and then I want to do like a simple matte eye with a little bit of dimension. So yeah, so that's my plan for today. So I think my lotion is just about dry. All right, so to get that glow, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter, and then for foundation today, I'm gonna use my Clinique Even Better Serum Foundation. This might be my all-time favorite foundation. I used it early this morning, and it just like blends out so easy, and it has good coverage. It's a little bit more of a matte formula, but it has SPF 25, it has skincare in it, and most of all, it just like blends out so easy. So Health Halo, I have not put these two together yet, so I'm kind of hoping that putting the e.l.f. Halo Glow underneath will make this more glowy. So we are going to find out. So put this on. Blend it out with a damp beauty sponge. Get some glow and some light coverage. No, I do not know Russian. I know my name is like a Russian nickname. I pronounce my name Sasha though, not Sasha. All right, so we got some nice glow from that e.l.f. Halo Glow. I'm gonna let this, hi guys, I'm gonna let this dry just for a few seconds here, give myself a little fan. When you're layering complexion products on each other, you really want to make sure that you are letting the products dry down, because the more you layer, the more likely it is to like pill or start to come up. So just giving this a good fan so it can dry down. Hi, Prince. If you don't know English, you might be able to come back after I'm done live, and then I'm gonna post it so you could watch it with the subtitles on. Okay, so now that that dried down a little bit, I'm going to actually do my concealer first. I'm going to do my e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. I like to blend this out with my finger. Get a nice bright eye. And as you can see, a little goes a long way with this product. Wipe my finger off. Get this side. Trust the process, guys. We will blend this with our blender. Okay, now that I got this mostly blended out, I'm gonna go over it with my beauty blender a little bit just to blend it, make it look a little better. Okay, let this dry. Yeah, see, some products come up when you use a damp beauty blender, and that's why I like the Clinique so much, because it just works so great with a damp beauty blender. All right, I'm gonna let this dry down a little bit. Hi, Liana. Yes, it's in the afternoon. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Hi. Is it Mayo? I don't know how to say your name. Okay, and now we're gonna go, oh, hello to Amsterdam. I'm gonna go in with my Clinique foundation, the Even Better Clinical Foundation. Give it a good shake, and then I like to put it on the back of my hand first. And then put this on. And then I just need a tiny bit more for my forehead. See how easy this foundation blends out? And it doesn't lift, it just lets you blend it. It's just so nice. And on its own, it is a little bit more matte, but now that I have the Halo Glow underneath, it's definitely a little bit more glowy. So we're gonna let this dry down before we powder. Thanks, Liana. Okay, let's do some cream blush. This is the Ilho On The Go blush. It's a tinted moisture stick that you can use on eyes, lips, and cheeks. I've just been using it on my cheeks. I just pick it up with my sponge. And it layers really nice. So I'm gonna go in with this before I powder, and then once I powder, it'll kind of like tone it down once we powder and go on this side. All right. All right, and give this a little bit of time to let it dry down, and then we will powder. Okay, I'm gonna powder with Coty Airspun today. I also have been using my Maybelline Fit Me lately, but this is in Fair Light, and I don't want it to get any darker. This has a little bit of color to it, so I'm gonna do the Coty Airspun. And everything that I use today, I will eventually link in the description, so you can check the description. I got a powder pad here from Amazon. Is it warm? Yeah, it's warm-ish. I think it's like low 50s today where I'm at. And we can start powdering. I will say I think the Maybelline Fit Me is a better powder. I think it's more like fine and gives you more of like a smooth finish, but especially if you're on a budget, the Coty Airspun is like $7 and you get such a big thing of it. It does have a scent, but I don't know, I've used it for a long time and it definitely does the job. I remember the first time I used Coty Airspun, I had not seen it on like social media or anything, and I was just looking for a translucent powder, and I was at like CVS or Walgreens, and there was an older lady working, and I was like, do you guys have translucent powder? And she like walked over with me, and I was just kind of looking, and She recommended the Coty Airspun. And yeah, I've been using it ever since. So I did not start using Coty Airspun because of social media. I started using Coty Airspun because the lady at CVS recommended and said it's a really good powder. Yeah, she did have the best tips. They know best. They got the wisdom. Okay. And then after I'm done with my powder puff, I do like to grab like a decent sized brush and just swirl just a tiny amount of the Coty Airspun all over my face. Just to get everything set down. So we did lose our glow a little bit, but I do have oilier skin, so in a couple hours I will be a little bit glowy again. So that's the thing with the Coty Airspun. It is very mattifying, where I feel like the Maybelline Fit Me can let you set and get a little bit more glow out of your set. Alright, let's comb these brows. Just a little bit. I'm going to do some powder bronzer. I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is definitely an OG. A tried and true drugstore bronzer. I've seen it recommended by so many people, and yeah, I definitely use it myself. It smells amazing. Smells so good. Get some dimension in the face. And then I had done a self tan and it's starting to come off. You can probably tell my neck is a little bit splotchy, so I'm gonna put some bronzer over it just to even things out a little bit and put it down my neck a little bit. Get my neck and everything. Okay, let's do some blush. I think for blush today, I'm gonna use my Ciate blush in Date Night. This is a nice, pretty, pinky, goldy, glowy blush. I like to blend it kind of like into my eyes. And then it's a little strong right now, but we'll tone it down. Also, I don't really mind when I first do my makeup having my blush be a little strong, because blush usually fades a little bit throughout the day or throughout the hours. Okay. And then if it's a little bit strong, you need to blend it. You can just take a tiny bit of Coty Airspun, blend it up a little bit. And yeah, looking pretty good, looking pretty decent. All right, let's fill in these brows. So I'm gonna comb them again. I'm gonna fill them in, and then at the very end, we'll do a soap brow and fluff them up. I like to do that at the very end because I find if I do my soap brow and then I get any powder or eyeshadow on my eyebrow, it just kind of like sticks to it. So I like to do the soap at the very, very end. Thanks, Liana. Okay, so to fill in my brows, I'm gonna use this Burt's Bees pencil. It's like a perfect match for my eyebrow color. It's in 1610 brunette. So I'll fill those in a little bit. Get them looking even. Can you hear my neighbor's dog barking incessantly in the background? Okay, hopefully I'll see you later, Liana. Give it another comb for now, and then, yeah, like I said, I'll fluff them up and do a little soap brow at the very end. Okay, let's get into the eyeshadow. I'm gonna use this Mirage 35 shade palette, and ooh, I spilt foundation on the other day. So, and it's still a tiny bit wet. So let's wipe that off. I'm gonna go in first with this like the lightest shade on the palette up in the corner there. And I'm gonna put that all over my lid. I'm going for a matte, a simple matte, but dimensional eye look today. So this will make sure too that our concealer is set down really good. So I'm gonna put this all over with my e.l.f. fluffy brush. I'm trying to get in the habit of holding my brushes further like to the end. That's what I see more of like the professional makeup artists doing. So trying to get in the habit of that. And I think it works a little better. I think it helps you like blend more like gently and just overall better. So yeah, that's a tip. I've seen professional makeup artists hold their brushes towards the end, and I've also heard them say that that is like a better strategy, I guess we'll say. So yeah, just getting this light color all over the lid. Okay, and then I'm gonna get a smaller and a little bit more dense brush. And I'm gonna go in with this cool toned brown down here. Looks a little bit warmer on camera, I think. On crapra. Just kidding. That's what I almost said though. And I'm just going to darken up the outer half of my eyelid. And then I'm gonna drag it into the crease as well. And if it gets a little like splotchy, that's okay. I'm gonna come back and blend it. I'm holding my brush toward the end. I think the brushes do work better when you hold it. Like it just like blends a little easier. Okay, and I think that's as dark as I'm gonna go because I want it to be like dimensional but subtle. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna start building it up on the outer portion of my eye on this eye, and then I'm gonna bring it into the crease a little, and then I'm gonna go back and blend it with my fluffy brush. When I'm all done getting this built up how I want it. My eyes get really watery too, so sometimes I like to kind of more stipple it, just so that I'm not like, if my eye's watering and then I'm swiping and then I'm just taking my makeup off instead of doing anything productive with my makeup. So I kind of just pat it on and push it into the skin. Okay. I'm liking how it's looking. I feel like it's going up a little bit higher on this one, so I'm gonna bring this one up a little higher to try to even it out. Just going in really lightly and building it up. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my fluffy brush and I'm not gonna add any more, it just has some residual powder on it, and I'm just gonna blend super lightly, like barely even touch it. Bring this up. Just trying to make it nice and even. And then blend this a little bit more. Okay. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna bring this up just a little bit. Lots of blending. If you want your eyeshadow to look like super seamless, you just gotta blend, 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 blend. Keep layering, keep blending. Okay. And then I'm gonna take this more like dark chocolatey brown, and I'm gonna take, let's see here, a thinner dense brush, and it's kind of like, it's almost like pointy. It has a piece of fuzz on it. It's pretty thin and dense, and I'm just gonna build up this dark chocolatey brown, just like almost like a fake eyeliner, little powder eyeliner. I'm gonna make sure to blend it really good so it's nice and seamless. This brush might actually be too thin for the look I'm going for, but we will go on this eye as well. And my eyes are watering. Wipe away any fallout. Super gentle when wiping away fallout. Okay, and then that brush was actually a little bit thinner than I needed. So I'm gonna grab a little bit. It's still pretty dense. It has pink on it right now. I gotta get the pink off. A flat brush that's just a tiny bit less dense, less precise, just to get a good blend on that brown. So I'm just gonna work this pink off on my hand and on my wrist until there's no pink coming off, and then I'm gonna just blend this brown. So I get that dimension. Now I am gonna dip into that chocolatey brown and just darken it up slightly. Dip in and darken it up slightly over here as well. And then I'm gonna stop dipping in and I'm going to just keep blending this because I want it to look really seamless. Okay, I'm gonna dip in just for the edge out here. Okay, and now I'm going to stop because I don't want it to get any darker. And then I'm going to take my fluffy brush again with that same like residual powder, and I'm just going to kind of go over this and blend it and lighten it just a hair. And then I want this to blend even better, but I want the inside of my eye to be really bright and matte. So I'm going to take another flat brush. This is super old from like one of the old OG Naked palettes. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to go back in to this super light shade over here. And I'm going to just kind of tap it on the brush, and then I'm going to wipe it on my lid, just on the inner corner, and then blend it into this brown to get a more seamless transition on the lid. And then I'm gonna wipe it up into here too, just for like a brightening effect. Okay, see the difference between this eye and this eye, how it's just like blended and it looks so much nicer. So I'm gonna blend this one a little bit more. Layer it on. And then I'm gonna go do the same exact thing on this eye. So I'm still in this super light shade and I'm wiping it on the inner corner, and I'll work it up into here a little bit for that brightening effect. And then I'm gonna blend it into this brown so that we get that seamless look. Going for nice and seamless. Let's see if I have an even brighter one, matte but light, that I could put in my inner corner. Let me look here. I don't know if I do. I know I have shimmery ones that are really pretty, but I'm going for a matte eye look. So let me look real quick. Those are shimmery. All right, I think I might have found one, guys. So I found this old e.l.f. palette. I'm gonna go in with this white with my same flat brush, and I'm gonna go in on the very inner corner just to brighten up, and even drag it down on my inner corner for that brightness. Just on this very inside. Yeah. And then do the same over here. Just on the inside. And then I'm gonna drag it down to that inner corner, just a hair. I'm gonna get the eye to open up a little bit from the inside corner. I don't want like a sparkly inner corner because I'm going for that matte look. So it's looking a little wonky right now because my eyelashes are full of eyeshadow. But let's fix that after I get something on my lower part, or my lower lash line. So I'm gonna take this flat brush again. I'm gonna wipe off any excess just on my hand so that I'm not blending colors that I don't mean to. And then I'm gonna take this palette again, and that second shade that I used, I'm going to go into that and just on my lower lash line, just on like the outer half. And just gentle. I'm gonna hold my brush on the end. Over here, I'm gonna actually kind of pat it because this eye is still watery. Touch up that. Blend this out a little bit. Okay. And then I'm gonna do just a tiny bit of a liquid liner just on this outer half, just not really for the purpose of, I guess for the purpose of eyeliner, but I just want my lashes, if I don't wear any liquid liner, my eyelashes they don't look sparse, but you can see where they separate, and I like having just a tiny bit of a line. So I'm going to be very careful and just do a tiny line. Just to help my lashes have a little more oomph. Perfect. Okay, let's do mascara. I got Il Makiage. This is all right. I don't mind it, but I have yet to find a foundation that beats Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder is the OG foundation, in my opinion. So we'll go on the top lash line first. Megan, hi Megan. Do I remember you? I think so. I like that script that you're writing in. Oops, I got a little bit on my eye. I'm gonna let it dry and then I'll scrape it off. And then the nice thing about this Il Makiage, even though it's not my favorite mascara formula, it does have this flat edge, so you can build up the mascara. Okay, that eye is getting watery, so let's go to this eye over here. No problem, Megan. If you want to see the beginning, I'm going to post this after. I'm going to use that flat edge. Okay. I'm going to go back over and do another layer on this eye. Yeah, I think I wanted to do like a matte but dimensional eyeshadow look. And then have a little bit of glow to the skin, just like a subtle glowy base. And I think we're accomplishing it. Lashes are lashing. Yes. I fortunately have pretty long eyelashes. I will say I think they'd be lashing even more if I had my Estee Lauder mascara. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in on the lower lash line. I'm gonna do this eye first. What do you think? Which side do you like better? I think I might like this side better, but it's too late. So let's do this eye now. Okay, bye, Megan. Okay. I don't know, did you like it better with the bottom mascara? I kind of think I might have liked it better without the bottom mascara. But it's too late now. Okay, let's scrape off. And then I'm just gonna find my flat brush and touch that spot up. Okay, now let's fluff these brows up. I'm gonna do a little soap brow. Get the soap brow going. I'm gonna let these dry like that. And then we'll touch them up. Those fluffy brows. We'll get them looking a little bit better here in a second. A little crazy at the moment. Okay. I'm gonna let these dry down and then we will touch them up a little bit. Alright, and then let's, yeah, so fluffy. A little too fluffy, I think. Let's touch them up. We'll tame them down just a tiny bit. There you go. I think that's better. I gotta touch up that part of my makeup though. I'm gonna go in a little bit of powder foundation and fix that spot up. Just dab it on. And then go in with a tiny bit of bronzer because you kind of gotta like reblend it a little bit. And then take my big fluffy brush and just, and my blush brush. There we go. Okay. Brows are fluffy. Eyes are matte, yet dimensional. Last, we just have to do lips. I have Aquaphor on them right now, so I'm going to kind of dab that off so that when I do lip liner and lipstick, it actually sticks. And then I'm going to dab the inside of my lip as well. Okay. And I think I want to go with, I think I kind of want to go with this one. Yeah, I might need to sharpen it though. I'm going to try sharpening it. Thanks, got this off Amazon. I can link it when I get to my linking. Okay, I'm just going to sharpen this just a hair. There we go. Yeah, I think this is gonna go with my shirt really good. Okay, we got the lip liner. This was like $1 off of Shop Miss A or something. Works great. And then for lipstick, I have this like pinky nude that I might go with. Let's see what other options I have. Ooh, I kind of like this one. Yeah, I kind of like that. It kind of goes with our brown. It's it's a sample of Ilia, and it's called Hold Me. I think I'm going to dig that out. And I'm just gonna apply it with my finger. I like putting lipstick on with my finger anyway, so if I can get this off, that would be great. All right, let's test this out. Work it around with my finger. Start to dab this on. I'm gonna kind of like pop it out. Ooh, that's pretty. Make sure the lips stay dry. Yeah, that's pretty. I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. All right. How are we looking? I think I'm gonna skip any highlight because I don't know if highlight would really go with my matte eye look. Just a little glow on the cheeks, matte but dimensional eye. And yeah, I think this is gonna be the final look. So here it is. Oh, got a little spot here. There we go. All right. I am going to finish my hair. I'm feeling myself now. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you in another live video. Bye.